Cherry, oh baby, can't you see that I'm in love with you? If you don't believe I'm true, what have you left for me to do?
Hey, this is Todd, and today I'm testing the Irix 11mm Blackstone version lens along with the Nikon Z6, and I'm also trying out a nice little lavalier mic from Audio-Technica, which I'll talk about more later. So basically this is going to be just a short little walk around. It's going to make you dizzy at times. I'm going to try my best not to. This is a super wide lens, obviously, and it's really not meant for this sort of walk around vlogging. But the truth is I have two lenses which I've sent for repair and cleaning from Tamron, and this is basically my only high quality lens that I have left at this point. So I'm just going to do a quick walk through this area in western Tokyo, which they're building a new bridge here, as you can see. Sorry, I'm going to try not to turn that much. And we're going to try to get to Jinja. That's our aim, and I'm going to try to do just a straight on shot for the rest of this. So basically, the Irix lenses are an international project. I believe their base is in Poland. And I actually interviewed Irix at CP Plus in Yokohama, Japan in 2018? 2018, no, 2019. So 2020, as probably most of you know, was canceled due to coronavirus, as a lot of photo shows were. So one of the interesting things about this lens is that, you know, because it is such a wide lens with a huge bulbous front element, you're actually able to see yourself. So even though the Nikon doesn't have an actual flippy screen to let you see yourself, and normally you would have to use something like a Ninja 5 recorder, which together with a Nikon and a lens like this gets pretty heavy. As you can't tell, I'm already out of breath. It's pretty hot here today. It's been cold weather for the last couple of days, so I wasn't really expecting this. Excuse the sweat. The thing is that the lens, I can actually see myself. I can actually say, okay, that looks like more or less in the rule of thirds there. It's so wide though, it's hard to see. Maybe around there, right? Yeah, so there is some pseudo framing possibility, sort of cheat of a flippy screen, if you will, where a smaller lens you wouldn't be able to see yourself at all. I actually see 3 or 4 or 5 of myself here. It's kind of funny. It's like a funhouse mirror stacked effect. So which way do you guys want to go? Do you want to go that way? Or do you want to come, whoa, super dizzy, that way? So I think we're going to aim this way. There's a Jinja, a temple. So there's a temple not too far down that way, but I am really stretched for time here. I have to meet someone here in about 30 minutes. And that's why there's really a bit of a rushed look in my eyes as I'm actually watching where I'm going. So this neighborhood is not too close to my house, but close enough that I can get to this without having to take a bus. Without having to take a bus or a train, which I'm still avoiding because it's out there. Hey, bird. You know, obviously wide-angle lenses don't really capture wildlife that well unless it's sitting on the lens itself. Hey, I'm a bird. But what I really want to express with this lens is a couple things. Is one, that it's wide as fuck. And two, is that it really is a really good quality image for a super wide lens. You know, if you're not familiar with using a super wide lens, most lenses that are this wide would be a fisheye. And this lens keeps the lines more or less perfectly straight. And if you go on to some camera sites, B&H, Adorama, or such, you might see some reviews where people say something to the extent of, oh, you know, it's crazy, the lines go all kinds of different directions. Well, how do I say it nicely? The point is that it's keeping those lines straight, regardless if they're going different directions or not. And if you can see here, if I'm pointing up, the lines get more crazy. But the more I get to a level horizon, especially if my head is dead center, my head becomes much more or less funhouse mirror-like. And the same goes for background objects. So this fence, if I were to get low down about the same level of it and line up, it's going to start looking a little bit more reasonable. Now this car, as it goes by, is going to look super stretched out in the corners. And that's just a wide angle lens thing. I'm not going to try to get into the science of it because I don't think and walk well at the same time. That's why I'm not chewing gum right now. Another thing I wanted to test today was the one hand, two hands. It's so heavy, I'm inclined to do this, but what does it look like? I'm swimming? I don't know what that looks like actually. Oh wait, use a selfie. Here we go, now I'm swimming. Okay, so I have the Nikon image stabilization on, not the digital one, just the IBS or whatever they call it on the Nikon. And I really wanted to see how well it does. I keep feeling like I should stabilize this though, because I can see it shaking. Or is that just my arm? I've had this lens for, well, at least 6 months. I'm not even sure actually, but it is a lens that I almost exclusively use for photography. Because, you know, that's kind of what it is, like landscape, huge wide landscapes, or architecture, things that look, you know, cool, all stretched out, or that you can capture a very big area. And, you know, with landscapes, people don't usually recognize, unless they're a photographer, that, oh, that's a super wide angle lens. They just see a huge landscape, because unless you've been there, you don't know that those mountains are being stretched and that they don't really look like that, or the trees even. You know, trees can curve in nature, plants and such can curve in nature, so you're not necessarily going to notice that you're looking at a super wide distortion with or without crazy curved corners. The thing about this lens is you don't have the crazy curves, so you don't get as much of that. And with architecture especially, again, if you're using that center plane straight on an image, you're going to not notice that as much. And here we have a wall here. Now keep in mind, this wall does have a little slanty bit here, but where I'm sure it's doing some crazy stuff right now, but you'll see as soon as I get to where it's more or less centered, the corners of that wall and the edges should look more or less straight right now. So I think I'm getting close to the temple here. In Japan, I do not recommend this if you're a tourist, or even if you've only been in Japan for a year or less probably. Don't weave around neighborhoods trying to find your way, because a lot of streets in Japan sort of spiral inwards to dead ends. And then you leave and you go outwards and you think it's the same way, and you spiral into another dead end. And a lot of Tokyo was actually designed that way as a military defense, so that if invading armies come into Japan, basically they get lost, and then the Japanese armies, you know, they can figure out where they are and ambush them, and they have no escape. So my point is, or what I was going to say before I started that rant, was that I do tend to weave around a lot in Japan, trying to find little secret roads. It's actually something else I'm working on right now, is a little project, the secret roads of Japan. They're hard to find, and they don't really exist anymore in a lot of Tokyo, but there are some places where these old little trails and stuff connect things, and you'll see remnants of them sometimes, where it gets you in trouble, because you're like, oh, this is a secret road, and you can go a fair ways in and even connect to several other ones before you suddenly end up at a dead end. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I do weave around a lot through Tokyo, loud truck, and I get lost, but I also find a lot of shortcuts and a lot of interesting things. This awesome old guy is cutting the grass here, or actually, sorry, using a rototiller to get his garden ready. Just a couple miles from my house, I found some restored, or excavated and restored Japanese houses, which were, I want to say 7,000 years old. They use a weird dating system on those, and the age I saw was 5,000 years, but that's 5,000 years into something like BC, but it's not BC. It's an Asian or Japanese thing. Don't ask me to explain. It's amazing. You find these things just wandering around. Again, not so much if you're in the centralized part of Japan or Tokyo, but you can find some amazing things just wandering around. So, and they're not always where you would think they would be. It's not like some beautiful nature road. It's just in the middle of like this, what you see here. So it's really hard because, when family or friends visit from the US, or if I was talking to friends that want to visit Japan, there's this part of me that wants to just, go to Kyoto, go to Tokyo, do all those things that everybody else always does, see all those things that everyone sees, because they're easy to find. You can say it to the taxi driver, go to Meiji Shrine or Kiyomizu-dera or whatever, and, you're going to get there. But there's a whole nother part of Japan, which is you don't have to go anywhere. You pretty much plop yourself any town in Japan and you can go explore and find these things. And like the temple that I think we're running out of time. I'm actually gonna cut here and check the time on my camera because I don't have my regular timepiece with me. Okay, I'm gonna be daring here and say we can make it to the temple. It's really gonna be a close call for me as far as getting to my destination on time. But I'm not gonna get, let's just say I'm not gonna lose a job or anything like that over it because it's not work related. But I might have a couple people grumpy, grouchy, something like that. I might get scorned. I might get shamed. Anyways, so this little park here, it's actually a baseball field, but it's got a little bicycle trail that goes around it. And what's cool about this place is that in the fall, it's really beautiful, but during the sakura or cherry blossom season, there's some really nice cherry blossoms that kind of like weeping wheel cute dog. Kind of weeping willow style cherry blossoms. I don't know if you can see that or not, but not the trees that are closest to me, the faraway ones. They're really big though. They're really big cherry blossom trees. I would guess 500 years old. Pretty much I just want to let you see what this lens looks like. What do you think? Is it a vlogging lens? I don't think so. But it does, with the Nikon, and quite a few cameras for that matter, does have a trick up its sleeve. I can, with a couple clicks of the button, turn this to DX mode. I can even do this while I'm recording. If I can gently return it. Oh no, no I can't, son of a bitch. My mistake, I can't do it while I'm recording. I can do it while I'm recording on the Ninja 5. And that's what I was thinking of because I have been using this camera with the Ninja 5. And it's a nice little thing is you can actually, in the Ninja 5 at the fly, or at will, you can switch from FX to DX on the Nikon, and it's instantaneous. It's kind of a cool little super snap zoom, and it gives you that. It's a nice thing when you're sightseeing and stuff, especially with longer lenses and you want a little bit more reach. So here we come to the Jinja, which we're gonna practically run through. Should I do running? Should I do slow motion? Should I give you guys slow motion running through the Jinja? Okay, here we go. First, here's the gate. Then I do have to stop again. Konnichiwa. Okay, maybe that was enough running. There's some people here. Usually this is pretty dead at this time of day, but I don't want to disturb their meditation. There's a nice little old lady doing pictures behind me. So what I was saying about the temples, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some amazing temples in Kyoto and Tokyo and other places, of course. But this is just a neighborhood jinja. I mean, it is one of the nicer ones for this, 2-kilometer or so area. But I can go 1 or 2 kilometers and find more impressive jinjas. This one is, I think, pretty impressive. And what's really cool about it is there's actually a stage over here. And I've actually been lucky enough to see when they do no theater there. And, like most jinjas, you have the area here where this lady's going to go up and do a prayer. Usually put a little bit of money in there. And there's also, well, actually this one has some really steep stairs. We're such a time crunch. So you can't really see. There's really steep stairs and a torii gate at the end. And, and back here is a concession stand, basically. They sell charms and stuff during various events. People buy them for good luck, for wealth, for healthy children, all kinds of stuff. And you can actually see, sure this is pretty well known. These little, I've been here so long, I don't know what you call them, but basically little prayers on paper. And similar, you buy these little charms, you hang them up, and I'll try and get my friends to explain it better because it's been such a long time since I've been here a long time. I forget things now. It's sad, but the longer you are here, the more you start forgetting some of the culture that you learned about. Okay, so basically that's it. This is my little review. It's also a test of the Nikon to see how well the ISO performs. I got on auto ISO because I knew the way the weather is today. It looked like it was going to rain, then it looked super sunny, and now it's kind of beautiful clouds. But there are some darker patches and they're moving fast, so between the trees that I'm walking through right now and the clouds, it's pretty unpredictable what the white balances, what the lighting conditions are going to be like. Am I supposed to look more at the camera? So I haven't been doing this for a long time, and actually I have not really released my walking around stuff because I was never satisfied with the audio quality or some other aspect. So I've kind of made a commitment, at least up here, that this is going to get released no matter what, because I need to start putting more content out there. And the thing is, I've invested quite a bit in cameras, not only in camera gear and money, but time and energy, learning and studying and trying to get to a decent level. And I know I'm not where I want to be, but I definitely have seen the improvements. I've pretty much been focusing the last year on photography a lot more than video. So sorry if this is not the smoothest footage, but soon I'll have my Tamarons back and I'll be doing reviews on those as well. I got a Tamaron 35mm f1.8 as well as the 85mm 1.8, and the 35 I think is much more suitable for this. It's not super wide, but it's got really nice stabilization, and I do have my eyes on some other lenses. But basically, I'd like you guys to let me know, is this interesting content to you? Is this something you'd like to see more of? Do you want to see me sweating? Because it's going to get hotter here in Japan. This is just the beginning. Probably next video, if I'm not already drenched, starting to get drenched, I'll be drenched in the next video. I mean, Tokyo is super hot and humid in the summertime. So if you'd like to see more of this, just let me know. If you don't want to see any more of this, yeah, keep it to yourself, because I'm going to be doing it one way or another. Let's see. Can I go down this way? I'm trying to stay away from this really loud road. I think there might be some secret stairs down there. Maybe there aren't. Okay, we'll cut it here. So I'll probably wrap this up in the studio. Maybe get a little bit more in depth about this lens and what I really wanted to say. Like I said, it's hard for me to think and walk at the same time, especially carrying such a heavy camera. Also, this is a test of this lot. Ooh, sexy chest. No, I'll show you later. Oh my God, did I really do that? So there's a homemade little lav windscreen, because B&H has them, these little flat ones, for like $20 or something like that, $15 or $20. But if you include shipping to Japan, it ends up being something like $35 or $40. So all I have done is I cut up my Zoom H1 dead cat, which kind of broke as soon as I got it anyways, and I still have enough of it to still use it, but I cut off a big enough piece to wrap up my little lav, sewed it up, and now I can put it flat on my chest, and it's matching my, oh, why was I flashing you guys? It's right there. So yeah, I had planned on putting it, there was a shirt on top of this. It was going to be completely concealed, but I said, fuck it, there's no need. And plus this is a gray shirt. I'm sure you can see it, but it's not blatantly obvious. I don't really care if you see it, but even though I look funny enough with a giant lens on a medium camera body, walking around, you know, the big obvious lavalier, I would probably get a little more attention. It's really loud here. Yeah, I can't really step back there because I am in a hurry now, so I've got to go that way. Definitely more content coming. If you guys are into this, let me know, because I got a lot of equipment that I was supposed to review this year, but various issues kept me from doing it. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.